Won't you be my nut knocker, horny man? Come up and saddle against me. Slap my nuts around the room tonight, you bitch. Anyway, speaking of getting nut slapped. Dude, Jesus God, in the fucking morning, are you kidding me with this shit? I mean, literally is another day, another outrage. I don't even want to talk about this. I don't even want to get into this. Because it's just imbecilic. We have a president that does not think before he speaks. He just speaks. And everything he does is to put everyone else down and make himself look better. He has got such a fragile fucking ego that I can't even... I don't even want to... Dude, I don't even want to make this clip. Okay? I don't even want to get into this because it's so stupid and petty and bullshit. Now, congressional Republicans have done over 800, close to 900 Benghazi hearings. Okay, almost 900, well, over 800, I don't know. It's like, I don't think it's like 850 or something, or 830, something like that. Outlandish amount of hearings and bullshit about Benghazi. And we all know it was political. You know how we know it was political? Because we haven't heard jack shit from it since November. We gotta get that justice for those 4 dead Americans. Yeah, then November hit. Trump won, and it's like, oh yeah, we got it, we found it. Give me a break. It was nothing more than political bullshit. Well, guess what? Little Trumpo, he had his own little Benghazi. Sometime on October 4th, in Nigeria, 4 servicemen died. And apparently this brutal firefight. And Trump didn't say shit. He didn't say a damn thing. Now what happened was, there was 3 white guys and a black guy. And I think it was the black guy. I'm almost positive because... yeah, I'm damn sure it was the black guy. Because I took note of that. Now keep in mind... I don't know. But for 48 hours they couldn't get his body back. Whoever ransacked them and killed them had the guy's body. Now, if it's anything like Benghazi, apparently they did horrible things to the body, like sodomized it and did horrible things. They're fucking animals. Okay, who knows what they did to the body? We don't even know if the body was like intact. We don't know if the body... We don't know. But for 48 hours, they had the other 3. The one guy, they couldn't get the body back. And back in 2012, our fearless Christian leader, Trump, tweeted... Now, I don't remember if it was Benghazi related. It was some... They were bringing caskets in, or a casket, or whatever it was. I don't remember what it was exactly. Whatever Air Force base the caskets from overseas arrive at. Trump basically tweeted and said, "Where's Obama? He's out golfing." And it was a complete bullshit lie. He didn't even know what Obama was doing. Come to find out, if you look, and this is on record, Obama was actually at the Air Force base while the caskets were coming in. Again, I don't know if it was Benghazi related or whatever it was. I don't remember what reason they were dead, but he was there on that particular day that Trump said, oh, he's out golfing. So it was a complete out and out lie. Now, this time, when I don't know if it was the one guy's body that we finally got after the 48 hours, or all 4 bodies. But whatever. There was a casket with at least one body in it coming back to the States. Where was Trump? Was he there greeting it? No, you know where he was? He was out golfing. Literally, he was out golfing. You can actually look. You can look at his itinerary. On October 7th, he was out golfing. Are you kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me with this shit? You can't make it up. You literally can't make this shit up. I'm sorry, this guy is a fucking goof. He is a goof. He is a literal goof. And I don't mean like goofy and hee ha ha. I mean like he is a legitimate goof in this reality. I'm sorry, he is. Like God needs to take an eraser and just okay, and then redraw the shit because he's a fucking idiot. His ego is so fragile that he has to constantly put himself above everybody else. And then come out and say, well, Obama didn't call anybody. Now keep in mind, this is 2 weeks later. The reporters asked, what did you call the families? Did you write letters? And he's like, no, they're gonna go out tonight. Are you fucking kidding me? Which means he didn't do anything. He didn't call the families. He didn't do any of that shit. God. I mean, the guy is a bona fide fucking liar. It is, let's see, what is it? It was 1,318 lies he told in like 265 days, whatever it is, up to whatever the point of the article was written a couple days ago of this year. So far, since January 1st to like now, or what, again, whenever that article was written, I think it was like 2 or 3 days ago, he has told almost 1,300 lies. And it averages out to about 5 lies a day. About every 3 to 4 hours. He can't go from lunch to dinner without telling a lie. And these are fact checkers. This isn't like, oh, the Democrats and the libtards are saying this and the libtards are trying to twist it. No, these are actual fact checkers who are looking at what he says. He has lied at every twist and turn. The guy is a fucking habitual liar. Now, like if I were saying something, I'd be like, yeah, well, you know, 90% of people are assholes. Now, are 90% of people assholes? I don't know. So, if it was something like that, I could probably deal with that. But I'm not the President of the United States. Okay? I'm not the President of the United States. And I'm certainly not going out there saying, yeah, well, everybody does this and nobody does that. You can't make that kind of a statement. Now, if you listen to what he said when he was asked about making phone calls and stuff, he said, well, Obama never did. And then he goes on to say, well, I don't know what Obama did. I don't know what any of them did. But a lot of presidents didn't do that. Or they made phone calls, but they didn't write letters. They wrote letters, but didn't make phone calls. I don't know what they did, but Obama didn't do it. So if he's admitting he doesn't know the facts, but he's making up stuff. Literally right there. I would like to go a 24-hour fucking period where my president does not embarrass me. And this is coming off of Bush, too. I mean, no. Sure, okay, listen. I will give Republicans the benefit of the doubt when they say that Obama, he was a closet Muslim and he cared more about the Muslims than the Christians. I, could maybe say there might be some truth to that. I mean, again, how many Christians do you know went to Ramadan dinner? I don't know any. Okay. And yeah, he seemed to care more about the gays and the transvestites and all that stuff than Christian. Now, granted, we're living in a culture where we have a quote unquote war on Christmas, even though you go into any supermarket in the middle of August and there's Christmas decorations. I'm in it right now. It's October 17th, and they got a whole aisle of Christmas stuff. Okay, Christmas ain't but 3 months away. And that shit's been there for at least a good couple weeks. Okay, it's been there at least August, September-ish. Maybe early September. I mean, it's like back to school and Christmas aisle. Right next to each other. And you gotta be kidding me. Oh, war on Christmas, war on Christmas. Dude, the fucking war on Christmas. Are you kidding me? And I'm being dead serious. And I'm not saying this is a joke. For the life of me. I'm 40 fucking years old. I will be 41 in March. And I'm not happy about that, but that's neither here nor there. I went my entire life at least a good 38 of those. We're talking within the last couple years. Maybe 3-4 of my existence. I always thought happy holidays. I didn't consider dreidels and yarmulkes and bullshit like that. or Ramadan. I didn't care about none of that stuff. I always thought Happy Holidays meant Merry Christmas and Happy New Year combined. So somebody says Happy Holidays, it's like yay. Instead of saying Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, it was a condensed version of Happy Holidays. I don't understand why Happy Holidays is so wrong. Well, we had taken Christmas out of it and taken Christ out of Christmas and then Christmas out of this and Christmas out of that, and we're gonna say Merry Christmas around here. You're a fucking idiot. You're a straight up fucking moron. Dude, Christians, fucking A. First off, we've bastardized the holiday to begin with. We've paganized. Dude, I went looking down the fucking aisle today. I just happened to, because I had to go get the floor cleaner. I get that lavender Pine Sol, that $3 jug. Love that fucking shit. And when I came back through, I was like, oh, let me go up to the Christmas aisle and just look. You know, it's not that I'm gonna buy anything, but not that I had money to buy anything, but you know, let me just look. It's festive. Let's let's go down the aisle. And I literally looked. And I see the trees, and I see the white trees, and I see the upside down vagina tree, and I see the stocking, and I see the Rudolph, and I'm like, I literally looked at that and said, that shit is pagan as fuck. Okay, now I can see you got like a cross in the front yard. Okay, or you got some nativity scene. I didn't see no nativity scene. I saw Rudolph, sucking a dick or what? No, it was a candy cane. It looked like a dick, but whatever. I did actually, because it had like a bob, like a big knob on the end of it, and he's like, it looked weird, but whatever. The whole thing has been bastardized. So you're worrying about not saying Merry Christmas to glorify a pagan holiday? Christmas is a pagan fucking holiday. It is. Now, I don't know. See, the problem is, and this even goes back to CERN, believe it or not. This ties in with CERN. They did, not they, but somebody did a mock ceremony at the CERN facility. And if you know anything about witchcraft, there's two variants. There's actually doing it, and then there's doing a mock version of it. In other words, you don't have to technically kill somebody and spill their blood. That's why they always do those Bohemian Groves where they do the little makeshift thing, and they kind of pretend to be killing it. Where there's power in that, although it might not be the same as if they actually killed somebody, like a hobo or something, or some vagrant somewhere, and actually shed his blood. But actually going through the process does have, apparently, from a mystical point of view. I know nothing about this, so I'm not a mystic. I'm not, but there's power in going halfway, basically. Now, we are literally putting up trees, decorating them with lights, like it's some, like there's fucking forest gnomes and shit running around the fucking field and shit, and putting stars up there. We're glorifying the stars, or now obviously the whole star, whatever. Whether the wise men followed the star, we're not, dude. When it comes to Christmas, we are not adhering to that star. Okay, we're here adhering to some other bullshit. Okay, you got angels with like little trumpets and you put the bitch up on the tree, and it's a vile holiday. So even if, because I was contemplating this a while back, because like, are we being pagan even though we're doing pagan things? In our hearts, we're not being pagan. I'm not gonna trash somebody who puts up a tree. I like the tree personally. I do. It's pagan as fuck, but I like it. I ain't gonna lie. And I'm not gonna knock somebody, a Christian, who wants to put up a Christmas tree. Just not. Again, it's pagan. And sadly, the problem with that is even if you know it's pagan, but you still do it anyway, you're still doing it anyway. So even though you may not necessarily be spilling the blood, you're still doing a mock sacrifice, and there's still power behind that. So I don't know how I feel about it. whatever. Anyways, I don't want to. This is completely got off the topic there, but seriously. And let's go back to Trump. There's also now there's this news article. I don't remember where the hell it was from. That he is actually mocking Pence. Now, Pence is a Christian. I believe he is a legitimate Christian. I believe he prays. I believe he loves Jesus. I think he's fucked up. I think he's wrong. See, the problem is, for me, yes, I don't like gays in the sense of what they do. But I'm not going to bastardize them and treat them like shit either. Where Christians today are like, oh, you're gay, oh, get out of my face, get thee behind me, Satan, here's the Bible and I'll shove it up your ass. That's not the kind of Christianity that Jesus taught. Jesus ate with sinners. Jesus fellowshiped with sinners. He didn't condemn them. He came to save them. And if our goal is to be Christ-like, I can't look at you, you're a faggot, man. Now, I might call somebody a faggot because I'm an asshole. But as far as like that goes, like an actual gay person, you're a fag. No. You're not. You're not going to do that. Because their sin is no greater or worse than mine. People need to understand that. So somebody like Mike Pence, he is right, but he's doing it wrong. And it pisses me off. It doesn't mean you condone what they do. Because let's be honest, it's a sexual fucking perversion. Seriously. Let's get candid here for a second. If you're... No, don't get me wrong. Taking a hot woman in the ass, that's one thing. But if you're two dudes and you're sucking your own ass juice off another man's cock, and you're two dudes, that's a sexual perversion. It is. It is. There's some nice way to say that. You're literally sucking another man's penile that's been shoved up your fucking ass to the point where there's probably blood and poop, and you're... Okay, that's a problem. That's disgusting. It is. Oh, but love trumps all. Whatever. Okay. I mean, let's call it what it is. So yes, on the actual definition of it all, I'm against it. I don't like it. But again, I'm not going to treat the individual person who happens to be gay as a piece of trash. As an unworthy piece of crap in my sight. I'm sorry. That's not how you do it. In fact, I wouldn't even bring up the fact, oh, you're gay, and Jesus says this about gays. Jesus says this about... Who gives a fuck? Jesus never came up and said, I say this about gays. I say this about homosexuality. I say this, God said this, and the Bible said this. That is not what Jesus did. Again, look at the woman at the well. That is not how Jesus reacted. That is not. Yet we do it. So when Mike Pence does that kind of shit, he's wrong. And when Christians do that kind of shit, they're wrong. Again, you don't condone it, but you don't throw it in their face as to say, you need to get right with Jesus or you can't be my friend. Dude, now I understand unequally yoked. I get that, but that's a whole other story. That's about like an intimacy as opposed to like, hey, let me tell you about Jesus. Jesus loves you even though you're a piece of trash. You know? That's a far better message than you need to repent and get right or your homosexuality because you're going to go to hell. If somebody says that to me, I'd be like, and I ain't even gay. I'd be like, fuck you. Okay. Fuck you. So, whatever. But I do believe that Mike Pence is a legitimate Christian. I think he's full of shit, but I think he's a legitimate Christian. As a Christian, I think he's a legitimate Christian. Trump is not a Christian. You'll know a man by his fruits. You'll know a tree by its fruit. And yes, I think Mike Pence does go off the deep end and uses the Bible to bash people over the head with that he disagrees with, and that is something Christians seem to want to do lately, and I don't get that. Again, the Bible says this and the Bible says... The Bible also says you're a fucking idiot too, so shut the fuck up. The Bible says even at our best we're still far from God, which means you're sitting there Bible thumping telling everybody else that they're wrong. Guess what? Guess who else is wrong? You. And it's high time somebody fucking said that shit too, because I'm getting a little tired of it. Because it pisses me off. Because all you're doing is pushing them further away. Well, if Jesus doesn't like me for who I am, see, that's the problem. Yeah, he doesn't like your sin, but he loves you. I mean, seriously, the whole point of first love, he first loved us before we loved him. In fact, we never truly loved him, ever. We don't truly love Jesus. Not in the sense that he loved us. He loves us unconditionally. We want to love Jesus, and that is our goal. Don't get me wrong when I say that. But obviously, the two-way connection, it's a stronger connection from his end to ours than it is from ours to his, is what I'm saying. And people need to get that. Ours is a constant struggle. Ours is a constant thing that needs to be exercised. It needs to be worked at. Where his, just, it is, It is what it is. Like I said, I'm getting tired of Christians just using the Bible for their own personal attack. I mean, it's like they're literally using the Bible as like a billy club for people they disagree with. And again, all it does is push them away. You are literally sending a homosexual to hell because you're too fucking pig-headed to understand you're both in the same damn boat. I mean, seriously. I mean, basically, it's the word picture of like two people in a boat, and they each got an oar. Instead of working together and moving the boat forward, the Christian wants to say, well, the Bible says this, so I'm going to dump you out because you're a piece of trash, and they're sitting there rowing and going in a circle. That's exactly what it is. Again, you don't condone what they do, because, yes, what they do is perverted, nasty, filthy. There is a mental component there. Well, they were born this way. Then they were born fucked up. That's simple. I know about being born fucked up physically. I can attest to it. So, it is what it is. Now, what happened there was, and this is something I don't think Christians get, is even if they overturned Roe v. Wade, the point of it would be that it would go back to the states, which seems to be a big Republican thing. Oh, take it, give it back to the states, give it back to the states. Well, guess what? All the blue states would keep it, all the red states would get rid of it. So you're not going to get rid of abortion ever. You're not. You can't. You would never be able to get rid of abortion. You would have abortion at least in California and at least in New York. And maybe Florida. Alone. And there's other places too. So you would have abortion. It would not be stamped out completely. Now, I'm against abortion. I don't like it. I wish it weren't a thing. I get it. Although, I'm sorry, but this does bug me. How certain people who are all for abortion, abortion, and they want to sit there and talk about evolution. I mean, again, the whole point of evolution is to pass on your DNA to the next generation. But what about the life of the mother? Yeah, what about it? You can't tell me evolution in one sentence and then say abortion in the next. You can't. I'm sorry. That does not compute with me. I cannot get my head around that. I'm being slightly sarcastic when I say that, but it doesn't make sense to me. It just doesn't. Because if we're worried about survival of the fittest, well then guess what? The bitch wasn't fit to survive. Her kid at least has a chance. So if we're talking about abortion and the life of the mother, it should be the other way around. Kill the mother and keep the kid. I mean, from an evolutionary point of view, she's already served her purpose. She passed on her DNA to the next generation. But you don't hear that. You don't hear people talk about that. I mean, seriously, what's the point of keeping a woman whose maybe womb is barren and she barely had the one kid, and what kid could kill her? What's the point of keeping her around evolutionarily? There's no point. There's no point. Evolution is a fickle bitch. Okay, it's true. Evolution doesn't care who you are. Evolution doesn't give a fuck about you. It doesn't. Well, I believe in evolution, and I also believe in abortion. That's like saying, I believe in yes and no at the same time. What are you, Schrodinger's fucking cat? You're not. You're an idiot. But anyways, back to the point. So you got Donald Trump who's sitting there making fun of Pence because he's never going to be able to get rid of abortion. And obviously Pence is against abortion. Although I think he's against abortion for the wrong reasons. Again, he wants to use the Bible to bash over people's heads instead of, you know, I'm sorry, to me abortion, I don't know. I have a problem with abortion. Because I'm thinking long term. I'm thinking, because you realize that every kid that's aborted, that's an entire generation of people. And who knows how long life is going to go on. We could go on another millennia. Another 2 millennia. Now think about it. You abort a baby now, there's an entire lineage of people that just don't exist anymore. Not that they ever did necessarily, but they could have. I don't know. That's a big thing to be in charge of, if you know what I'm saying. And I admit, I'm maybe a little ignorant, where it's like, you know, a lot of these women, they do it for convenience. Well, I mean, there must be some who do it for convenience because they don't want to deal with it. That has to be at least a good 56%, at least, bare minimum. Where it's like, oh, I just don't want to deal with it. Damn it, I'm pregnant. Or I'm pregnant and my boyfriend's going to leave me. Or I'm pregnant and I'm not married. You know, whatever. Or I'm 16. You know. Convenience has to be a big part. Now, I'm not saying they take it lightly. I'm not saying all of them do. But I don't like it. I don't like the concept of it. I get why it's there. I don't like it, is what I'm saying. That's my personal opinion on the matter. You know, in a perfect world, there wouldn't be an abortion. There wouldn't be need for abortion. Let's put it that way. I mean, now granted, there are miscarriages and things like that. But again, if we were in a perfect world, those things wouldn't exist either. Yeah, and in a perfect world, you know, you'd be married for 3 years and you'd be like, oh, let's plan the kid. Let's mark it on the calendar. Little Johnny's going to come in October. You know, whatever. So again, if it were a perfect world and there was no such thing as rape and incest and and listen, I can understand the concept of you're really going to make her keep her rape baby. Listen, I get that too. Although I think if you ask anybody who kept a rape baby, it's probably one of the best things that's ever happened to them. The kid, I mean, not obviously the rape. Like, oh, it's the greatest thing ever. Yeah, no, you know what I mean. I mean, unless you're like a sociopath, I don't think most mothers are like, you know, every time I look at you, I think of that bald man's penis as he threw me down next to the dumpster and he ripped off my clothes and started fucking me. He started raping me hard right there in the rainy alley and there were rats running by. Yeah, it makes me think of that every single solitary time. No. Again, unless you're a sociopath, unless you're a Trump supporter, you know. I mean, seriously. Now, you can explain that to a 16-year-old kid. I mean, I can understand that. But again, just because you fucked up doesn't mean you get to fuck up again. 2 wrongs don't make a right. And if they did, you'd be bobbling around in a circle. But whatever. But again, like I said, in a perfect world, it is what it is. Should there be some variant of abortion? I definitely am 100% against late term. And we can decide, is it before the heartbeat, because it's only like some odd couple weeks, 22 weeks or 20 some odd weeks or whatever the hell it is. I don't know, I don't care. I mean, I don't know. If you don't realize you're pregnant within a couple weeks, I don't know what I can tell you, you know. I mean, now there have been stories that some girls are like chubby girls and they're like fat and they didn't even realize it. All of a sudden it's like they start having this pain, like what? And they pass out a kid. How do you go 9 months with a fucking kid in your gut and you don't realize it? That just seems weird to me. And I'll be honest with you, pregnancy in and of itself, like as a dude, I don't know, man. it reminds me of like aliens and shit. And it's like, you know, I don't know. It freaks me out. That completely freaks me out. Like if I were to give birth, I don't know, man. Just something like bursting out of me and shit. Honest to God, it's like that scene from Aliens. And it just freaks me out. Having a, I mean, think about it. Imagine having a life physically inside you. That's weird to me. That is just weird to me. So yeah, there's definitely a bond between a mother and a child. It's called the umbilical cord, asshole. I mean, seriously. But no, I mean, there's, you know, I'm being sarcastic, but you know what I mean. Anyways, I don't want to get into that. So anyway, he was trashing Pence for that, and then saying something to the effect of, what was it? Like when it comes to gay issues, don't talk to that guy, referring to Pence, because he wants to hang them all. Now think about that. This guy is supposed to be, you know, 2 Corinthians, a Bible believer. Like Michelle Bachmann, oh Jesus, that stupid bitch. I am sorry. God is going to smack her in the tits one day. I swear to Christ. The woman is an idiot. And I don't want to be mean. I do not want to attack fellow Christians and stuff like that. But she is dumber than a bucket of shit. Well, he's a man of God. Every time we go into the Oval Office, say, Mr. President, would you like us to pray for you? He says, sure. Really? 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 If he's a man of God, he'd be like, hey, let's pray. Yeah, you wouldn't have to ask him, and be like, sure, okay, whatever. I mean, the only reason he even gives a fuck about any of that, and I don't mean to judge him when I say this, the only reason he gives a damn is because his ego is so fucking fragile that he enjoys having people lay their hands on him and be around him and be like, hey, Mr. President, we're here for you. You're the best, Mr. President. He needs that kind of reinforcement, that kind of encouragement that a fucking toddler needs. I mean, I'm sorry. That's what it is. You can't show me any other proof. Okay, you will know a man by his fruit. You will know a tree by its fruit. And I'm sorry. This guy's fruit is fucking rotten. He's a habitual liar, as I said earlier. And it's just constantly. The guy is... He's out to fucking lunch. Every single chance he can get, he is out to fucking lunch. And not in a good way. Okay. I swear to God. And I don't want to be mean to the guy. I really honestly don't want to be mean to the guy. It bugs me. You got people who make up excuses for him. Oh, he's a Christian. He's a Christian. He's a Christian. Even the Christians who were there never said he confessed to needing Jesus. Never. They said he had a good religious experience, basically. And he acted positive. Give me a break. Even Lucifer has his fucking faith. Even Lucifer believes in Jesus. I've never heard him mention Jesus once. Now, I'm not saying he hasn't, because I haven't listened to every single solitary thing he said, but not in that sense. He's more of a generic, oh, the Bibles are great. What was it he said on Fox News? Oh, he loves the Bible. He believes in the Bible. Big league. Big league. Whatever the fuck that means, big league. He's big league. Not big league, big league. Like baseball league. Into the Bible. He's full of shit. Now, I'm sorry, dude. I've seen atheists who know it was 2 Corinthians. There are people who don't even want to acknowledge God who know it's 2 Corinthians, not 2 Corinthians. I don't know. I don't like the fact that he's masquerading around as something he's not. Oh, gee, guess who else does that? Satan, fucking Lucifer, masks around as an angel of light, pretending to be something he's not. He's pretending to be a Christian, and he's not. Now, I would give him the benefit of the fuck doubt. Like, right now, if he came out and said, I accepted Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior, blah, blah, blah. Hey, I would support him at least on some level. I would. I'd support him. I'd be like, hey, okay. Good job. Now go forward. Do what you're supposed to do. Stop being an asshole. Stop scaring old people. Stop scaring disabled people. Stop scaring me. Okay? Stop threatening to take away people's shit that need it. Now, fine. You want to take away stuff from people who don't need it? Fine. But again, to people like that, it's everybody who isn't them, which is rich. So if you're middle class, you ain't deserving of shit. It's fucking stupid. I hate the whole setup. Like, oh, we got to get our tax reform. First off, I don't even know why the fuck they use the word reform. They're not reforming anything. It's just tax cuts to get the wealthiest to pay, what, 20%? Are you kidding me? My parents, what, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, were paying almost 34%? More than both Mitt Romney and fucking chucklehead Trump combined. My parents were in the middle class paying double what they were paying. That's bullshit. I mean, seriously. Look, it's stupid. You know. And these people, these Christians want to just make excuse after excuse after excuse. Well, eventually the excuses are going to run out. And reality is going to sink in. Again, I'm tired of seeing Facebook when these stupid fucking Christian people that we went to church with, we need to support our president. Do you support? Click like and share. I don't support the guy at all. I mean, at least not in his bullshit. I don't support him doing bullshit. And what's going to happen? I'll tell you, this is one of the reasons I believe in a post-tribulation rapture, or at least the mid-tribulation to a post-tribulation rapture instead of a pre-tribulation. Because, first off, we're going to deserve it as a church after this. We are. We are. Okay. We just are. And one of the reasons I believe in it now, more so than ever, is because people are going to get what they deserve. The karma literally is going to come back and kick them in the dick. I mean, they're making excuses for a guy who is full of shit. And they go out of their fucking way, excuse me. They go out of their freaking way to try to put him on some pedestal and act like he's this big Christian leader, like he's the next big thing since Christian sliced bread. Are you kidding me? Hey, I wish he was. I wish he was a born-again Christian who wasn't a complete asshole. You know? But I gotta be honest with you, I'm not seeing born-again Christians today in the church that are not assholes. I mean, you have shit like dispensation being preached. And a lot of that shit was made up by a bunch of assholes. And it has no biblical basis at all. And that's where we came from with this whole pre-rapture shit. And I've gone through that numerous times. You know, how motherfuckers weren't taken out 7 years before, Lot and his wife, Noah. They weren't taken out 7 years. I don't want to get into all that stuff right now because I did that in a clip not too long ago. But why would... Seriously, God has never taken anyone out ever pre-situation, pre-trial. Never. With the exception of maybe Elijah. That he didn't, took away before he died. That's probably about the only example of any of that. And that's not even really a good example. Because it's not even the same thing. Dude, I don't know, man. Now, I do think he is Antichrist. Or at least son of perdition Antichrist. Because there is a distinction. Again, I say Antichrist more in a generic sense. Like everybody knows the Antichrist. They may not know the son of perdition, which is basically the same thing. Like the term Antichrist is never actually used other than the spirit of, as in your belief system is against what Christ taught. Not that there's an actual person known as the Antichrist. Although it technically is, it is a son of perdition. There will be an actual person. We call him the Antichrist. It just sounds cooler. You're the son of perdition. No, I'm an Antichrist. Fuck you. Okay. And I do believe that Trump is definitely of the spirit thereof. I really do. I've gone through the whole thing. Because again, what did he say in the Middle fucking East? He went over to the Middle East, went to Saudi fucking Arabia, and then Israel. And he said, we need to come together as God's children, all as God's children, to wage war against terrorism. And what's the Antichrist? He will come talking peace, and he will be given a bow to go wage war. To conquer, go out conquering and to conquer, or whatever it says. And then, again, wars and rumors of war. How many wars has this guy wanted to start? North Korea, even one with China, Iran, Syria. Just in the last week, he's threatened to nuke people and wipe them off the face of the planet. Which, okay, fine, if you're talking about the administration, you're talking about the leadership. But if that motherfucker wanted to drop a goddamn nuke on North Korea, you know how many North Koreans, seemingly innocent people, they may be, they are definitely innocent. They may be complacent or non-committal, however you want to look at it, either or, to their government of choice, I guess you could say, that they were born into. They're either for it or they're secretly against it. But still, you're talking a bunch of people are going to get nuked, and he wants to fucking nuke them. And I don't understand that. Now, yeah, listen, North Korea, Kim Jong-un, whatever the fuck his name is, yeah, he needs to go away. I'm not going to lie. He needs to go away. But, you know why he's going after North Korea? Because it's one of the last few holdouts. And I'm telling you right now, no, you know what, I'm going to get back into this. This is pissing me off and I want to talk about it. 9/11 was a fucking inside job. You cannot tell me it wasn't. Well, the commission said this. First off, that was so fishy as fuck, dude. I remember watching that shit on Fox News, and everybody's like, "Oh, what was going on? We heard explosions, and it sounded like, controlled explosions, and you hear the shoom, 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 shoom as the fucking thing came down, and Building 7, and blah, 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 blah." Okay. And then the minute that fucking commission came out, guys like Hannity, they just shut it right off. They shut it right down. Like, nope, no conspiracy. Next topic. It was like a light switch. That to me was fishy as fuck, watching that shit on Fox News. Because I was starting to question their bullshit even then. And first off, there's this one image, and I was watching this guy. Listen, I'm skeptical. I do like to pretend I got the tinfoil hat on. I admit. It's fun to think, what if? Okay, I'm not going to lie. This one guy made a damn good point. There's a video where you see the plane hitting the building and the nose of the plane coming out the other side. That is impossible, first off. That's CG bullshit. It's impossible. Because one of the interesting things was, all the footage for quite a while was just the building burning. Then all of a sudden you started seeing these planes fly in. Now, I'm not saying they CGI'd it or whatever, but there's no way that nose could have stuck out the front end. Because if you watch crash tests of like a bus, other planes, like the government, basically took a concrete wall and put a passenger bus going, I don't remember what the speed was, but it was pretty fast. The whole front end was completely demolished. Like, it literally hit a brick wall and didn't go anywhere. And what they were doing was they wanted to make sure that people couldn't ram buses or planes into nuclear plants and reactors and shit. So they wanted to make sure that the concrete wall could hold that shit back. Now, we're not talking just a concrete wall. We're talking beams and steel and shit. There is no way that tip could stick out the front. None. Yeah, you watch a video, you watch it at the angle, boom, you see the tip sticking out the front end. And it just... Dude, that shit was Michael Bay all the fucking way. It was straight garbage. And I'm telling you right now, as a fact. They're also saying that there was a Mandela effect in here too, where it wasn't just the Twin Towers and Building 7, but apparently all the buildings are now gone. They were all demolished. Why would you need to demolish a bunch of buildings if only 3 of them fell? There may have been some structural damage to a couple of them nearby. Okay, but again, I don't want to get into all that conspiracy theory stuff. But I'm telling you right now, it was either... No, I'm not going to say either. It was a fucking inside job. It was. There's no way a government organization like TSA or whatever the fuck it is going to let 19 fuckheads all carrying box cutters going only one way, carrying no luggage onto planes 19 different times. In the same general vicinity, East Coast. It's not going to happen. I mean, do you realize right now they tackle old women who have toenail clippers? Yet, a bunch of fucking towel-head assholes, and I say that, you know, not racially, but just they're assholes with towels in their fucking head. Okay. I mean, think about it. 19 times, and I've said this numerous times, but 19 times the term, "Gee, Mr. Mohammed, here's your box cutter back, have a safe flight," rang the fuck out on 9/11. Are you kidding me with that shit? 19 fucking times on one coast, that shit happened. And nobody was like, gee, there's a bunch of people of the same ilk, whether they're Muslim or not, doesn't matter. And they're only carrying box cutters. Huh, there's like 5 people going on a flight with box cutters. What's the connection? Oh, they're all of Saudi descent or whatever. No red fuck flag went off, said, are you kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? That shit was greenlit. I'm sorry. You can't tell me otherwise. Another thing. Fuck you. If Building 7 was such a petite little building that just a random fucking fire is going to collapse the thing in a controlled demolition look, then, I mean, we got to get the code. We got to get the buildings up to code, because that's bullshit. I mean, seriously. Honestly, God, it'd be like Burger King collapsing, and all of a sudden my roof collapses at the same time for no reason, just out of sympathy. I'm sorry, that's bullshit. That's bullshit. And I'm telling you right now, I believe it was government. Because, I mean, there's one of two things. Either the government actually did do it, or they used it as a propulsion into something else. Which is what I believe. No, I shall get into that. Fuck it, I'll get into that too. Again, either they did it purposely, and there are some... Dude, if you look at the trading practices of a lot of people in government right before 9/11, a lot of people made money off that. They made a shitload of money off that. There were certain governments, there were certain people in the government, our government. I mean, the guy who owned the lot had just renewed and put like, I think it was like an extra 90 billion or something into it, or some outlandish amount. Dude, that guy made out big. He made out fucking big. Dick Cheney made out. Halliburton. I mean, there was a shitload of money trail. If you look at the actual money trail before 9/11, it acts like it was an inside job. It acts like people knew or suspected it was happening. It does. And I don't know what to make of that. And I don't want to wear a fucking tinfoil hat and be like, oh, I'm a 9/11 truther. I don't know what I am. All I know is 9/11 was bullshit. Okay? It was either the most heinous thing that's ever been perpetrated by our government, or it was the most inept bullshit of our government. Either way, they're both pretty disturbing. Okay? Now, I'm telling you right now, the reason we did that, the reason we did 9/11 is twofold. One, to weaken our nation. They gave us the Patriot Act, and they proved that people want safety over freedom. They will be willing to lose freedom for safety. And we lost a shitload of freedoms. And we basically became what we feared the most. We became the one thing we didn't want to be. A bunch of little bitches. And it weakened this country. It did. It absolutely weakened this country. For what this country stood on. The founding father principles and shit. You know, so every time I hear conservatives talk about, the Constitution. The Constitution don't mean shit right now. The Constitution is a complete joke after 9/11. I mean, seriously, they're still holding people without trial. They're holding them indefinitely. They don't even know if a couple of them, they don't even know if they got the right guy. It's just like, you're here, well, good luck. You know, we'll cater some Muslim meals for you for the rest of your life. Dude, I'm sorry. There's something fishy as fuck about it. You can't deny that fishy as fuck is there. And the whole reason we did it is so that we could destroy American value. We could destroy American freedoms. We could put fear into the American people. That's what they said Osama was trying to do. Trying to make us afraid. Our own government. Dude, I'm sorry, my own government makes me afraid. Because even if some jerk off in a cave perpetrated this, like they want us to believe, the fact that my government didn't grasp it and didn't do anything about it, that's scarier than the prospect of a bunch of evil Muslims wanting to kill us. And the fact that there were over 80 cameras and not a damn one of them picked up the Pentagon explosion? Seriously? Really? That's a narrative you're going to paint. That is the fucking narrative that you're going to paint to this. I think you're full of shit. I think you're full of fucking shit. But what came of it, other than America losing freedoms and shit? What came of it? We went into Afghanistan. What happened in Afghanistan? We took it over. We put in a puppet leadership. Okay? Why did we do that? Because we needed somebody we could trust. We needed somebody we could control, but rather. Okay? Or at least control more than who was in there. So you start small. Well, it's this little country over here. Because think about it. You look at the location of that. Where's the next logical step? Iraq. Syria's not too far. Iran's not that far. Once you get a foothold in this little shithole of a nation, it means nothing. Because Pakistan's not going to help us. And they're right next door. Some of the other ones aren't going to help us. They're right next door. So we go in and we set up a foothold. And then what do we do next? We go into Iran. Nobody knows why we went into Iran. Or Iraq, excuse me. Nobody knows why we went into Iraq. Nobody. Why do we go into Iraq? I mean, I've tinfoil hatted and said that they wanted to take over the museums and shit, and it was some sort of ancient technology there. I was saying that to be stupid, but well, actually, there are a few truths there, because our troops did basically let vandals go in there and literally watch them do it. And some of the shit that they took was behind a safe that only the people who worked there would have had the combination to, and they went in and took specific things. A lot of old relics that, I don't know. Because again, if you look at some of the stuff that was stolen, it was some questionable shit. Now, I jokingly said it was a Stargate and stuff like that. I was being kind of, sarcastic and facetious and dickish at the same time. But who the fuck knows? I mean, it was either we went in there for a Stargate, which I want to believe because it makes more sense than, W was all upset because Saddam threatened Big Daddy Bush and he went in there for vengeance. I mean, that's basically the only other explanation. Unless you look at what we actually did do there. What did we do? We overthrew Saddam. And what did we do? We brought them democracy. We gave Afghanistan democracy. We set up a foothold there. We gave Iraq democracy. Tried to set up a foothold there. So now, what do those two things have in common? They now have new leadership that we can basically, for the most part, control at least better than what was there. We weren't going to control Saddam. I don't know about Afghanistan. I don't remember the original leader. And then, of course, Bush leaves office. Obama takes over. And what do we have? We had the Arab Spring. What was the Arab Spring? Where all these fuckwit Muslim nations wanted to have freedom, quote unquote. So they rose up against their government to overthrow their government to put in new leadership. Now think about how that all ties together. We had to get into the Middle East. And let's be honest, that's not a conspiracy theory. We had to get into the Middle East to take out these nations because, let's be honest, there was quite a few nations. Libya, Gaddafi. You think Gaddafi's going to play ball? No. You think Saddam's going to play ball? No. You think asshat in North Korea's going to play ball? No. You think what's his face in Iran was going to play ball? Syria? No. I'm telling you right now, we're going to take out Kim Jong-un. He's next. He's next because now we're going back to the Republican way of doing it, which is go to war. Because before Obama did it, he took out a whole bunch of them all at once. It was like a fire. It just lit up everything. Like a little brush fire. And I think that's what they were trying to do with Afghanistan and fucking Iraq. Give those motherfuckers new leadership. Make it look like they can vote. Make it look like they have freedoms. And all these other shithole Muslim nations are going to be like, oh, we want that too. And they go rise up against their government. And put in moderate bitches. Now, again, I can't speak for a moderate Muslim because I'm not a Muslim, but I know moderate Christians are assholes. They're pathetic. Well, I believe in heaven but not hell because I don't believe in a God who would do that. Then you're a fucking loser. Okay? You're a fucking loser. So I know for a fact, as a Christian, that moderate Christians are fucking idiots. And I can only safely assume that concept would apply to moderate Muslims. So now what happens? You get all these moderate Muslim leaders in there who have no backbone. Oh, they'll talk tough and be like, for their people and shit. But when push come to shove, money come to shove, they'll do exactly what we want them to do. They will. No, I mean, what other... China could be an issue, but I think China collectively would play ball if they had to. Russia, same thing, but they would play ball, especially if there was money involved. Especially if you got a war budget of like $70 trillion. I mean, Jesus. And that's a year. Holy fuck. Now think about that. Think about that. We had to instigate, if you will, 9/11 just to get a foothold into the Middle East, and that's kind of what we did. Okay, George Bush kind of made it look like, oh, we're going to ramp down. We still got bases there. We still got people there. There's still people there. There's still people in a fucking desert shithole. After what, almost 15 years. Same thing with Iraq. I mean, does it really take 15 years to teach the Iraqi Guard not to rape and kill their own people? Yet we're still there too. Maybe not as much. Now, Numbnut wants to put more people over there, wants to put more troops back over there. Gotta fight ISIS, gotta get ISIS. I don't know, man. But again, if you connect the fucking dots paint a really disturbing freaking picture. They really do. Because again, you look at the Republicans, they want to go to war. They want to take them out by force. Which, in a way, if you think about it, I mean, if we take out North Korea, we're going to set up a base there. We're going to set up a camp there. We just are. We did it in Iraq. We did it in Afghanistan. We'll do it there too. So now you got 3 bases over there. Of course, Israel would cup our balls any chance they could. Especially if we took out, you know, a couple of asshats over there. Which is ironic when you think about it. Why Netanyahu hated Obama. Obama did more than the Republicans did. I mean, the only difference is what Obama did, especially with the Arab Spring. He basically just set the whole thing on fire, where it was just complete chaos. Where you got the wars. There's a little bit of strategery there, if you will. There's a little bit of there is somewhat of a game plan. We're going to roll our tanks in and shoot a bunch of stuff. You know, there's a little bit of stability there, believe it or not. I mean, there's more stability in a war waged by the United States. Believe me, us versus Afghanistan, us versus Iraq. Seriously? Really? We took over Iraq in 3 days. We did. We had actually won the war. The war was over in 3 days. As in, the only reason it took 3 days is we had to roll the tanks from one side to the other. Now, as far as rebuilding the nation, that's a different story. As far as cleaning up said war, dude, we took it over in 3 days. We did. We had control of it within 3 days. Now, we're not saying total control. We had to, there was stuff to mop up, and obviously ISIS and shit branched out from all that stuff, and whatnot. But as far as like believe me, there was no war. It wasn't a war. I mean, honestly, you got Baghdad Bob talking about, there's nothing to see here. Well, U.S. tanks are rolling on behind him. Okay, they basically rolled over, and like I said, the only reason it took 3 days is because we had to roll tanks from one coast to the other. That was it. Now, again, don't misunderstand what I'm saying. Obviously, the war is still going on in the sense of, the Taliban, and because they're pretty much done. But ISIS and all that stuff, obviously that stuff is still going on. The skirmishes and shit are still going on. But as far as like taking control of this country, we had it in 3 days. We absolutely did. I mean, we haven't lost control of the country technically. Now these motherfuckers, the ISIS motherfuckers, are taking over territory. Don't misunderstand me when I say this. And we have pulled out. We have lost some territory. But again, we're talking back when it first happened. Because I remember it was 3 days. I know for a fact it was 3 days. The updates were like, day 1, tanks rolling. Day 2, tanks rolling. Day 3, tanks rolling. And then you see Bush with the mission accomplished sign. Although that wasn't technically 3 days, but whatever. Now again, I don't want to downplay it. I don't want you to misunderstand me. But as far as like us going from here and saying we're going to wage war with you fuckers to it getting done was 3 days. It was. I mean, it literally took longer to move pieces into place than it did to actually get it done. So again, don't misunderstand what I'm saying. Because, yeah, there's still shit to do. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's still a lot of shit to do. But, it is what it is. I mean, think about that, though. 9/11 was a fucking joke. And I've jokingly said, although I say it sarcastically, that the whole "let's roll" thing it sounds like it was written right out of Crawford, Texas. Like, I could literally see the Bushes, Jeb, and everybody else, Ma and Pa, and little W there. He's got his little overalls on, little shirt tucked in, little cowboy hat. He's got his little boots on, little spurs. Like a complete cartoon, right? And there's Dick Cheney. He's got a little button-up shirt and his little polo pants. He's sweating because it's hot there. And they're sitting there. They got little pens and paper, little pads and paper, little yellow paper pads and pens and shit. You know, like, how can we write this one? How can we make this one out? And all the hillbillies like, let's use the term "let's roll." I mean, dude, it just sounds like the whole thing was written out of Crawford, Texas. But again, if you look at what the accomplishment was, because now obviously if we are the New World Order, if we are the beast, now think about that. Now, actually, before I want to go back to what I was saying about the 3 days, because you questioned me one other time. The problem when I say that is that, well, literally, who can wage war against the beast? You really think Iraq was going to be able to stop us from rolling tanks throughout their country and literally taking over the capital? We had the capital. We had the whole thing. Okay, we did within 3 days. And I mean, it's a fact. You can look it up. Now, obviously, there was more stuff to do, but I want to point that out because I don't want to leave it like. In other words, I don't want to fly my own mission accomplished banner when I say that. Obviously, the mission wasn't completely completed, but as far as us getting there, taking control, and then dictating what takes place, that was 3 days. Literally, it was 3 days. And that's basically all I mean by that. But again, you look at what happened. We set up a base. We moved to the next state over, or the next country over, and said, well, these people, they were part of 9/11 and blah blah blah, and they got nuclear weapons and they got the pipes, and you get Colin Powell out there and he's showing them a tube. They got the tubing and they're gonna make the bombs and blah blah blah. And we get in there, there were no bombs. Although some people do speculate that maybe Saddam saw the writing on the wall and he gave them to Syria, as in, they're coming for me, so, you know, whatever. I don't know about all that, but that's one of the theories. Which, I mean, it makes sense because, I mean, it could make sense. Let's put it that way. Because they actually showed satellite footage of the moving nuclear material too, and they didn't have it. But there was that one, I don't know if it's an image or video or whatever the fuck it was, where like you would literally see inspectors walking in the front door, and then these big trucks were kind of trucking out the back, going out the back way, almost like they were sneaking away with whatever was there. Now, obviously, whatever was there would have left a residue signature, but still, they were being shady as fuck when it came to that stuff. And again, we knew this back in the original Gulf War that Saddam was an asshole, and he did need to be taken out. I mean, he fucking set fire to the wells and shit. That's somebody who's vindictive. You can't play ball with somebody like that, because he'll turn on you, because he's an asshole. That's what he does. He has to. So we had to get rid of him. And then think about it. Egypt and all these other places that had regime change, or at least some sort of, you know, whatever. It was all for a greater good. Now, you got people like Terry, like, oh, Hillary's going to bring in the New World Order. Dude, the New World Order is already here. Do you understand that? The New World fucking Order is already here. We are it. We are the fucking beast. Who can wage war against the beast? We have over 800 bases in the entire country, or the entire world, excuse me. All over the fucking world. We have over 800 bases. Again, who can wage war against the beast? If we wanted to take out anybody, we could. We spend billions of dollars more than the top 5 combined in military funds. You telling me they don't buy a couple bunker busters? I mean, seriously? You don't even have to... Dude, we could take out most nations. Shit, we could take out almost every nation without even... Probably without even shooting a single shot. I mean, we can cripple entire nations with just sanctions alone. We don't even have to... I mean, think about that. Not only are we bombing and destroying and all that shit, but we're putting sanctions on them and having the world adhere to said sanctions, where we're not going to buy and sell with you, so their economy shits to bed. Now think about that. Is that hurting the government? No. That's hurting the people. Because the government's going to be fine. I mean, seriously, Saddam Hussein was sitting on a gold fucking toilet seat. You really think that penalizing their economy is going to hurt him? It's going to hurt everybody else, but not him. I don't... And again, I don't mean to sound like I got a tinfoil hat on here, but there's definitely some connections that can be made here. And that's all I'm saying, they could be made. And it's scary as fuck, too, because you're talking about worldwide manipulation. You're talking governmental manipulation. You're talking manipulation of the very people of our country. And we were the first ones to experience it. That's some scary shit. I mean, because what it did, because one of the, and everybody keeps saying this, is that one of the, hell, even George Soros said this, that the biggest component to a new world order is America. You throw in the Patriot Act, that is like picking away at everything that we hold dear. And once you do that, it's kind of like the old saying, if you stand for nothing, you'll stand for anything. You know? Or whatever that statement is. And it's disturbing. It is disturbing what 9/11 gave us and what we lost. We as a country lost a shitload. And we as a world lost a shitload even more. I mean, think about that. The Middle East, since 2011, almost 17 years ago, not almost, it was 17 years ago, is a completely different place than it used to be. There are dictators who are gone. There are dictators who are coming on the scene. And whatever. Anyway, I'm tired. I don't feel good. I'm not feeling good today. Holy crap. But, yeah, dude, it's some scary shit. And you think about, imagine if they did do 9/11 as a fact. It is more infinitely likely that our government did 9/11 as opposed to some schmuck in a cave. Oh, he's the mastermind of 9/11. I mean, the guy who we were funding to go against whatever rebel faction he was going against, or he was the rebel, or whatever the fuck it was. And we actually gave him money, we gave him food, we gave him supplies, we gave him guns. This is what, the Kurds or whatever back in the Gulf War. Think about that. We armed them. We armed these bad guys. It was our fault. And I don't know, man. I mean, When you put it into perspective, when you really, really look at it, the whole thing is just insane. It is. And again, even if 9/11 just was a fluke thing, they still used it almost like, what's his name there? The black guy, Jones, or whatever his name is, Van Jones. I think it was him. Basically said never let a tragedy go to waste. So they either set up said tragedy or they took advantage of said tragedy. And like, I think the connection that I'm making is not a far-fetched one, because there was a lot of regime change in the last 15 years over there. I mean, you look 15 years prior, nothing. There was no regime change. Most of these people were dictators 15 years ago, 25, 30 years ago. Some of these people didn't go anywhere. You know? And seriously, within the last few years, it's just like dominoes, just falling right over. Because, and I'm telling you right now, it's for the New World fucking order. And so that we can all come together as God's children and wage war on terror. I almost have a weird feeling that Bin Laden wasn't even a real person. I wouldn't be surprised if someone wagged the dog bullshit. Well, so-and-so had an interview with him. So what? So what if so-and-so had an interview with him? I just saw, not that long ago, a new Michael Jackson concert. I mean, the guy's been dead for how many years? I'm not saying he was a hologram, per se. But he could... You're telling me they couldn't have had an actor in there? Or somebody who was actually playing the role? I mean, seriously, you watch Wag the Dog, that's some serious shit. And if our government did that, was actually capable of doing that on a legitimate level, I mean, you got to question everything. You got to question everything. No, we end up with a fucking president who is mentally unstable. I'm sorry, Trump is legitimately mentally unstable. He is. There's no nice way to say that. Anyways, it's really a scary thing, because the New World Order is coming. And I do believe that, well, I don't say I believe, but I believe that it could be possible that the abomination of desolation, or the son of perdition, is going to basically take a seat in the Holy of Holies, if you will. Well, if the Holy Spirit is no longer in the temple, it is in us. What if they rebuild the temple? Doesn't really matter. So, I do believe it will be a physical thing, but I also believe it'll be a spiritual thing. And I think the mark of the beast is going to be some sort of chip that regulates body. I don't know if it's nanobots. I think it might be a little too advanced for us right now. But they have devices they can put in you that actually regulate certain chemical things. Now, what better way to bastardize the church? What better way for Satan to indwell the temple than to basically make us non-human? Like, imagine if they used a nanobot type technology or something that we could live forever, some sort of miracle cure, and we no longer have human traits. I mean, we may be humanoid, we may still have the same things, but that would explain why people who take the mark of the beast can't be saved, because there's nothing there to save. It'd be like saying you're going to save, a cricket or a cat or a dog. They don't need to be saved because it just doesn't apply to them. Now think about that. It only applies to us. Oh God, I keep yawning. Anyway, that, I don't know, that's kind of fucked up when you think about it. Because what better way to bastardize the temple than to actually bastardize the human DNA? It could be a retrovirus, it could be something. I'm not saying nanobots, like I said, I think are a little too far off right now. Although I suppose it could last that long too, who knows. But they could do something and put something inside of our being that's a foreign thing. Now imagine if they could manipulate... No, shit. They're actually talking about being able to link your minds, almost like a Matrix kind of a thing. Now, I don't know how realistic that is or how believable that is. Like, can you imagine if you could just link your fucking mind up to like the collective? You would cease to exist, basically. Your physical body would still be there, but you would cease to exist because who you are is connected somewhere else. You were no longer there. You were somewhere else. Like, we could realistically live entire lives in a simulation, live 100 years in a simulation, and still come back and realize only hours or even days went by. That's some cool shit too when you think about it. I mean, imagine that you live your entire life in a simulation. Maybe that's what we are. We're living in an actual simulation. No, it's a pretty realistic one, I gotta admit, because at least for me, when I dream, it's almost like there's no legs. You're just kind of like, it's like your legs are smoke, and you're just kind of like hovering over stuff, and you're just kind of like, just kind of bobbing around here or there. There's no like, oh, I gotta hoof it up the mountain, you know, where you're out of breath and stuff. It's more of, you know, I'm here, you know, let's move forward. Anyway, whatever. But, yeah, I believe it's all literally to set up a one world government. And Trump is already promoting coming together as God's children. And I'll tell you right now, and I talked about this before, nationalism leads to globalism. It just does. A lot of people want to distinguish the two and be like, oh, that one's different and this one's different. Listen, I understand collectively one's more about your personal home, your personal land, and the other's more of a global collective. And people want to look at them as not the same. It is not that far-fetched, especially under Donald Trump insanity precinct that we're under right now, to see a global United States, or whatever you want to call it, or some sort of global governance, where it's like, oh, Syria's a new state. You know, there's 51 states now. Iran's another state. There's 52. You know, Palestine's a state. There's 53. So on and so forth. The EU collectively. I mean, that's not far-fetched. I mean, the whole EU would be destroyed because it wouldn't matter. Like I said, of 51, there's however many countries there are. I don't even know. I don't even care. There could be, you know, hundreds of states. Or even if you're just talking collective, like some might merge. Like if we got rid of... If we actually completely annihilated, I don't mean nuked, but if we cured North Korea of its leadership, maybe North and South could reunite. Literally tear down this wall. They'd be one. You know, some other ones could unite and kind of morph into one another. Like Russia's got a bunch of them that could morph back in. Although Russia would have to change a lot of shit because they're kind of off the deep end. But it's not that far-fetched to have a global United States. Now think about Think about how that would entail. Now imagine Trump bitching about football players because they didn't stand up for the fucking heathenistic anthem and this worship of state and government. That's what it is, basically worship of government. Maybe not federal, but it's definitely state. It's a worship of that kind of shit. And you hear all these Republicans bitching and complaining about, the state's this and the state's that, and small government and blah, blah, blah. You want small government, but then you want everybody to be forced to say the pledge. Really? Small government, but you want to force people to do stuff. And they get pissed off, Obamacare forces people to buy stuff they don't need. There's a mandate. You're pissed off about that, but you're not pissed off about the other. I don't get that. But yeah, New World Order is not that far-fetched. And especially under Trump's leadership, or lack thereof, I should say, because you could very easily see that happening. Now, the only case for a pre-tribulation rapture would be that the rapture itself, again, if it's 7 years before, could technically, theoretically, whatever, set everything else into motion. Now imagine Antichrist, whatever, forget Trump, let's just say Antichrist Collective, and a bunch of legitimate born-again Christians disappear one night. Millions of people just disappeared around the world. There's no rhyme or reason. There's no, some speculated that maybe it would be like some sort of aliens kidnapped us. Maybe it was some sort of nuclear fallout or something. Or there's, something catastrophe. Some catastrophe befell us. Well, think about that. Think about what that would entail. You would have a one world government because you need everybody to come together because every country lost somebody. You would need a one world currency because everybody lost something, and that could send panic, shock. We're talking there could be a collapse of the entire financial system potentially. I mean, think about it. Millions of people just randomly disappeared and there's no connection. I mean, you got blacks and whites and Asians and this, that, and the other. Even Muslims who happen to believe in Jesus, who maybe are, a Muslim faith or Muslim family, but believe in Jesus, they're gone. Probably not that many. Jews for Jesus kind of shit. I mean, think about that. You've got all these people are just gone. And you would want some sort of chip, some sort of tracking, like they put in the dogs and stuff, where it's like, hey, where the fuck am I? Where did my mother go? Where did my kids go? Where did my daughter go? Where did my dick go? Whatever. Put a chip on my dick. Whatever. I could see that propagating the entire thing. But if you actually look at what the Bible does say, actually, the Bible says that the rapture won't happen until the Antichrist has made himself known, when he takes the seat on the throne, or takes his rightful place, if you will, and then declares himself God. He will declare himself as God, and then it says that's when the rapture is going to happen. Now, it doesn't necessarily say it's going to happen right then and there, but it could be at the end of 3.5 years. So it's either a mid-tribulation where tribulation happens, and then right in, because at the end of the tribulation, he's going to go declare himself God, and then the Great Tribulation starts. And now here's an interesting fact. I know no man knows the time or the hour, so I'm not saying this in a prophetic sort of way, but apparently there is an interesting date coming up, and that's, I believe, early May of next year, 2018. It is 70 years since Israel became a nation or something like that, or whatever it is. And they're saying that, like, Daniel's 70th week and 70, there's a big deal. Like, they want to say Trump is 70 years old, and that's part of the thing. Well, this could be interesting. The peace deal could be here in May. I don't know how I feel about that. Okay, because that's gonna be some creepy shit. If there's a peace deal, I'm telling you, I think this Kushner kid, I wouldn't be surprised he's not the fucking Antichrist. I mean, because Trump is either the Antichrist, he is a spirit of Antichrist, but he could be the Antichrist. He could be, or he's setting up for the Antichrist. Because think about it. Now, Kushner does not have any experience in anything, but yet he's getting stuff done. Think about that. This motherfucker. Oh, I don't know if you know about this. This freaked me out, actually. That little weasel, Jared Kushner, that little weasel, somewhere down in New York City, somewhere, I don't know exactly where, he spent 3 times more than what the property is actually worth. He lost money, basically, by about 3 times as much, so that he could get the building that has 666. He could actually be at 666. Now, are you fucking kidding me? They purposely went out of their way to get that building. Okay, whatever. Now, he could definitely be the Antichrist, because personally, I think the Antichrist fits more Trump, but I don't know about that. I've always had the picture, like, I jokingly said that I think Obama would have made a great Antichrist. I want Obama to be Antichrist because Obama just looks cool. He is a cool cat, you know. He's awesome in that regard. You may not like the fact that he's a socialist and Fox News told you to hate him, and you may hate him because of that, but you don't really know why you hate him. But if you looked at him as a human being, and you look at him with his kids and his wife, he obviously loves them, and he's a decent man, at least in that regard. He might be a son of a bitch socialist. He might be, you know, whatever. He only cares about transvestites in the toilet. He only cares about things that don't matter to me. I just want to put food on my family. And he's worrying about the stupid gays pooping in the shower stall. Whatever. But even I think Sean Hannity could agree that outside of the Oval Office, outside of power, does he love his wife? Does he love his kids? Is he a good guy, at least in that regard? Is he a nice, warm, cordial guy to be around? I think even Sean Hannity would agree that he's at least a decent person on that level. Well, you know, he's just that and the other, and he's a socialist and blah, blah, blah. I'm not saying label him. I'm saying would you rather have somebody who's an axe murderer who just wants to eat your face, you know, who rapes and eats children? Would you rather have him sitting next to you, or would you rather sit next to Obama and maybe just like, hey, let's have a beer kind of a deal? Who would you rather have a beer with? You know, Hannibal Lecter or him, you know? So again, even if you don't like his socialism, I can understand. Listen, I could deal with that. I could deal with conservatives not liking the socialism stuff. I could maybe deal with that. At least from their understanding, I can deal with that. But the one thing I cannot deal with is the hypocrisy of stupid that they engage in every twist and turn. It's like, well, Obama did this and Obama did that. Obama's not in office anymore. Now, I do think it would be kind of interesting if he did. Like, some people are saying, oh, he's going to come take our guns. That didn't happen. Oh, he's going to, not give up power. That didn't happen. Now, who do you think? Now, seriously, be honest. I know I'm preaching to the choir when I say this, but between Obama and Trump, if push come to shove, who do you really think would be less likely to give up power? Now, we obviously know Obama did. You're telling me if push come to shove and Trump was actually you know, viable? That he would give up power? You think he would? The guy's an egomaniac. He needs that for his ego. He would not give up the power. Listen, I will give him credit if in 4 or 8 years, dear God, he just says, "Okay, see ya. I'm proud to have served as your president, and I'm out of here." Listen, I'll give him credit if he actually does it. Now they kept saying, "Oh, Obama's going to do it. Obama's going to do it." Again, based on what? Based on what Sean Hannity tells you? Based on what Fox News tells you? Now, if you actually learn about the guy a little bit, you know, it's like same thing with W. No, did he do a lot of wrong? Yes. Did he do a lot of good? Yes. There's some good things to talk about with him. And back to what I was saying about the caskets. W definitely spent a lot of time with servicemen and women who were, you know, either injured or their family members of people who died. He did do that. He went to a lot of people and hugged them and listened to their stories. He did do a lot. Now, granted, he put them there, but that's neither here nor there. But for Trump to say, well, other presidents didn't do anything, didn't do as much as I have done. First off, he didn't do shit. He knows he didn't do shit. If anybody, no, you could say, well, Obama maybe he didn't do enough. Whatever. It's all about Obama. It's all about his dislike for Obama. That's all it is. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do that. We gotta get rid of Obama's legacy. What do you think the next president's gonna do to Trump? I mean, talk about a bad taste in one's mouth. I don't know, man. Then he got this stupid this tax reform. First off, if it's reform, show me where the actual reform is. All it is a goddamn tax cut for a bunch of assholes. And again, where are they going to make up that loss of revenue? What are they going to do? They're going to take it out of Medicare. They're going to take it out of Medicaid. They're going to take it out of Social Security. That's where they're going to take it. They're going to take it from the people who need that shit the most to pay for their fucking wars and to pay for their fucking lifestyles. Their overabundance of bullshit. And nobody's got the balls to say it. Certainly none of the Christians do. Certainly none of the Republicans do. It irritates me. Angers me. The people who should know better, the people who should be looking out for people like me and people like you and, you know, other people. Like, I'm sorry. The idea that our church pulpit is not looking out for us the way they should. I mean, you got people like Barb Nipper. You got people like... No, I don't know if she's still alive. But back then, you had people like her. Al Freeman, who was just... And you got people like... you got people like Marsha fucking Skinner who don't know any better. You know she doesn't know any better. You know beyond a shadow of fucking doubt she doesn't know any better. Fox News tells her Trump is great, Obama's bad, and that's all she cares about. And she's borderline fucking racist. The whole Skinner clan is fucking racist. Dale T's a racist. Now, like, I might say a certain word here or there, but it's only to be a dick. It has nothing to do with just, you know... There's a difference between saying it accidentally and having it like slip. Oh, you're a blah blah blah. Okay. Then actually say it and make it have meaning, as in I'm like when I say goddamn. Like, I'll say goddamn, but it's meant in a meaningful sort of way. Like, I don't just throw out goddamn just because. Like, hey, it's goddamn Tuesday. No. Like, again, when I post on Facebook and I say goddamn, it's usually for emphasis. And, you know, I'll say stupid shit. I'm not going to lie. I'll say racist stupid shit. I will. I mean, it's just how it is. I'm an idiot. But these people, I'm telling you right now, that whole Tabor area, Camden, fucking Skinnerville bullshit, Skinner Settlement Road bullshit. They're off their fucking rocker, dude. They are literally off their fucking rocker. You got a bunch of docile fucking men, and they seek these motherfuckers out, too. The women are like vampiric leeches. They find these spineless men to mate with, and, you know, next thing you know, Dale T's over there carrying her purse while she's strutting around Walmart. You know, it is what it is. I didn't make it up, okay? I didn't make any of that up. He's carrying her purse while she struts around Walmart. And he's pushing the cart and she's putting stuff into it. And you know you can picture it. You know you picture it. You know it's in your fucking head. You can picture that. It's pathetic. I mean, no offense, but Marsha's husband, he seemed like a nice guy the little bit that I saw of him. But he seemed like a really timid little man. Like, if I said boo, he'd just run off and, like, cower in a corner somewhere in a fetal position. Okay, he's very jittery. I don't know if it was just me or the moment or what. But, I don't know, man. I don't know how I feel about that. But you know they don't know any better. And you got the pulpit telling them one thing. Telling them a bunch of bullshit from Fox News. Now, again, was Obama the most perfect being for Christianity? No. Was he the beacon for hope for Christianity? Absolutely not. Was he as bad as people want to make him out to be? No. He was the worst president ever. Based on what? Based on what exactly? Well, he didn't get anything done. Well, he couldn't get anything done. You know? And you know how we know we couldn't get anything done? Trump can't get anything done. You realize this Congress right now has done nothing for what? 8 years now. Because we'll give them the first year, maybe the first 2. Alright, so 7-ish years. They've done nothing. They have done nothing. They've done 800 Benghazi hearings. That was about it. And it's disturbing. It's disturbing and disgusting how much fucking money they've wasted. They haven't done a goddamn thing. They have done nothing. Yet we're paying them $174,000 a year. And they do nothing. Congress, Senate, the whole nine, do nothing. Do you hear the words? They do nothing. Yet they're getting paid hundreds of thousands of dollars. All the while telling you, well, you work at Burger King, so you're not worthy of having you know, pay that could actually, you know, keep you out of poverty. These are starter jobs. First off, $7 and whatever odd cents it is was cute 10 years ago. Okay, that shit needs to go up with inflation at least bare minimum. But no, they don't want to do that because they want capitalistic bullshit to reign supreme. So guess what? If you realize that the utopia that these fuckers want, these conservatives want, as no minimum wage, no rights at all, and whatever your boss dictates, that's what you do. So if your boss wants you to work 12 hours, you're not getting paid any more or any less. You're doing nothing. And I don't know, I don't understand that. I don't understand why people feel that would be the way to go. That you'd be making 16 cents an hour, and if your boss wants you to work 12 hours, you'd be making 16 cents no matter what. Well, hey, if everybody's getting 16 cents, then there's plenty of jobs to go around because everybody'd have a job. Yeah, it's 16 cents a fucking hour. The fuck you gonna do with 16 cents an hour? I mean, seriously, you ate the toys, Eddie. That's their fucking utopia. Let the boss determine how much they get. Now, okay, you might once in a blue moon find a cool boss that's like, hey, here's $100 an hour for, you know, whatever. You're not going to see that. You're not going to see that. It's not going to happen. So if you mandate what the minimum wage is, they're at least guaranteed that much. Because a fucking boss could be like, okay, well, today you're making 16 cents an hour, tomorrow you're going to make $1.20. Now imagine trying to live and do bills and try to have a life when you go from $1 to $1 an hour to 16 cents an hour. On a whim. On a fucking whim. I mean, imagine that. I'm sorry, you couldn't live that way. No one could live that way. So at least with minimum wage, it gives stability. It does. At least you know what you're going to get, roughly. And you work around that and you work within those means. So, you know. But $7 an hour is hard to work within those means now because, like I said, that was okay 15, 20 years ago. Now it's not. I mean, that's like chump change today. Or Trump change, I guess you could say. So I'm definitely a proponent of minimum wage, at least rising with inflation each year. Just, you know, it has to. Now they're looking at it, well, I was paying some stupid Mexican to do the gardening, and he was making like $1.50 an hour, and now we have to raise minimum wage, now he's making $2.50 an hour. And, that's just more money. He's not really doing a better job. Whatever. There's always somebody going to make an excuse somewhere for stupid shit. Anyways, I don't want to talk about this guy anymore. I just want a 24-hour fucking period where my president does not embarrass the fucking shit out of me. I'd like a 24-hour period where my fellow Christians don't say something fucking stupid and they don't go out of their freaking way to put Trump on a pedestal and make him seem like he's this big Christian leader, this sent by God bullshit. I would really like a 24-hour period where Christians acted like fucking normal people. I would. And Trump didn't embarrass the entire nation. I have not seen that day yet. He's over 260 some odd days into the year, and I have yet to see it. But now, I'm sorry. I personally believe that... now, in a way, I do believe in limited government in the sense that I don't want to see any one party have control. I mean, I wouldn't. Now, if we had Trump in there and there was checks and balances, maybe. Republicans are not checking and balancing him at all. You get like one or two hotshots who want to stand up to him for a few seconds until he trashes the shit out of them, and then quote unquote has a lunch with them, and they come out smiling, oh, we're good friends, and blah blah blah, and they look like they've been held hostage. I mean, I don't know what the fuck's going on behind closed doors, but yeah. Looked like they were threatened. I mean, seriously. Looked like something out of Stockholm. Are you fucking kidding me? I mean, you look at Mitch McConnell after their big lunch. They must have been seriously. For lunch that day, they must have been serving Trump's small little sausage because Mitch McConnell ate that shit right up. In fact, there was even breaking news where Ted Cruz jumped the fence to try to get some more himself. Because you know Ted Cruz like a little that Trump sausage. You know that for a fact. That guy is pathetic as fuck. Yeah, when it comes to the wrong Christians, I don't know who I'd rather take. Somebody like a Ted Cruz who's just a fucking creep. Michelle Bachmann who's just completely dimmer than a bucket of shit. Or Mike Pence. At least I think Mike Pence. I do generally believe that Mike Pence actually... I mean, he could actually be worse than Trump, but part of me wants to give him the benefit of the doubt. I mean, I don't know. Now, again, I think he's wrong. I think he uses the Bible to bash people over the head with it instead of, instead of treating people with dignity and respect and like, oh, let me tell you about Jesus. He loves you for who you are, where you are. I mean, that's for what it's worth, as opposed to just sitting and act like a complete asshole. So yeah, I do believe that Mike Pence is a legit. I mean, he's way more a Christian than fucking Trump is. Trump doesn't even try to admit that he's a Christian. Now, I've said this before. If Trump comes out with a Christian testimony of I need Jesus and Jesus is in my heart and I accept Jesus, blah blah blah, hey, I would give him a break for a while until he pisses me off again. But so I'm not going to sit there and pretend that I'm all completely against him. Now again, he's going to fuck up. Everybody fucks up. Everybody's going to revert back to their bullshit. I talked about this the other day in a clip. So anyways, whatever. Just, I'm tired of it. I need a break. I may have to go a 24-hour cycle where I don't go on YouTube. And I don't go on Facebook. And I don't go on any social media. And then I say nah to that shit. But, whatever. Anyways, I'm tired. You know what? I'm done. I don't want to talk about this asshole no more. The guy is an egotistical asshole, and he needs to be. We need to invoke the 25th Amendment. Now, actually, let me end with this. Normally, I would not be for the 25th Amendment because, let's be honest, I don't think anybody should invoke the 25th Amendment simply because we don't like what the guy's saying, we don't like what the guy's doing. I don't think there's grounds for the 25th Amendment. But if he is truly unfit for office and he does have mental fucking issues, then somebody may have to look into that. Now, I don't think the Republicans are even going to entertain the thought, no matter how bad he is, no matter how much he fucks up and destroys everything. I mean, this guy could literally bring World War fucking 3. Do you understand that? A nuclear World War fucking 3. Now imagine if you got multiple nukes going off, potentially. I mean, that's gonna fuck up things. I mean, our entire existence is gonna be fucked up for a while. We know this is a fact because we've seen it happen when they let it off the last couple times. We're still really... Seriously, there are still ramifications of Hiroshima. I mean, they may be minute on some level, but they're still here. There's still issues in the environment and issues in the world. I mean, granted, obviously not ideally the first day, but, it's not a good thing to have happen. It's not a good thing to blow one of those fuckers up just because. And to be cute about it is kind of disturbing to me. So, anyways, I forgot what I was going to say. It was whatever I wanted to end with, and I don't remember what the hell I wanted to end with. So you know what? I guess that's the best way to end it. Not remembering what I wanted to end it with. Anyways, fuck you.